The views and opinions expressed on this program is just that. Views and opinions. Don't take any of it serious. But I will warn you, viewer discretion is advised.
You met me as me. Yes.
Bro, this hair looks delicious on you.
Yes! It's 99J.
Right. Girl, now LL Cool J is saying he is the GOAT, bitch.
Wait a minute, you mean like
No, greatest of all time.
Who told you, in the words of Jaffe Jaffe, who told you that?
Not my son.
My son works?
Right,
Who,
right.
who told you that? Who told you that?
Listen, LL is not playing with y'all. I mean, but I'm gonna tell you something before we listen to what he says. I'm putting in my passcode on your phone.
Girl, it's okay. You know, my phone passcode is the last digit of their social security number.
No, it ain't. Man, this might be Mo's last four.
No, it's not.
Most not. He's not a citizen.
I was gonna say he ain't got no. Yeah, what kind of number?
It's
he
definitely
got?
yours. The last.
No, that ain't. Those are my last four.
That's why they didn't approve me last week.
That's exactly why. you put in the last four. I'm the wrong four.
You know, I'm fraudulent, girl.
Oh, Most of you trainees are.
Guess what they say?
No. Trainees. It's a joke.
You don't have to clear that.
Well, you know.
You don't have to clear that. You're a fag. So you don't have you're that
Right.
You're that close to a trainee.
Oh, you trying to say I'm a fingernail polish away?
That close away?
I'm one nail polish away.
Honey, actually, you do this. Tranny. You transform.
But no, all jokes aside, let me get to this audio. But no, I want us to talk about it first. So, G, you said, yeah, you do think that LL is like a pioneer for many reasons. But Mo, you challenged it.
I'm just saying he's not the GOAT.
Yes, Mo, I'm with you.
He's not the GOAT.
I'm with you.
I can't say he's the GOAT. I can say he has an important role in hip hop, yes. But the GOAT is that's a stretch.
But like G said, Def Jam was built on his back. And the fact that you're saying GOAT,
What about Craig Mack?
who? Craig Mack barely got flavor in your ear out.
And guess who was on that?
LL.
That was the remix.
But he was on it.
But
And the fact that you're saying GOAT, LL coined that word, that acronym, greatest of all time. He's
On his own.
just because you coin something don't mean you the GOAT.
well, what I'm saying is, okay, well, we got to listen to what he's saying. But he was the first. He opened the door for a lot of.
You could be a pioneer. You could be the pioneer.
It ain't no different than this trainee sitting beside me talking about she didn't open up the doors for all these OnlyFans children.
I did though.
What?
Excuse me.
Well, it's the same thing with LL.
Excuse me, I did though.
Okay, and so did LL.
And I'm a porno girl that motherfucker stepped into mainstream hard with my big dinosaur foot.
Correct.
Stepped in the mainstream and tell the girls this is how you do it.
Correct. The OnlyFans girls are eating because of you.
Correct.
And so there are a lot of hip hop artists that are eating because of LL.
That is correct.
He was the one that introduced us to branding. That whole FUBU shit when he had that commercial with the Gap, but he was in the commercial with a FUBU hat on or t-shirt or whatever the fuck it was.
Okay, so then
He promoted FUBU in the Gap commercial because them crackers didn't know what it was.
okay, what considers you the GOAT? Let's what stats or what opinions
Queen
or,
Latifah. Somebody wrote in the comment, Queen Latifah is the GOAT.
But I'm saying like what makes you the GOAT? Like what criteria makes you the GOAT?
Okay, well,
Album sales? Okay.
Transcending from where what makes you the GOAT?
Yeah, what makes you the GOAT? Like what criteria? What criteria?
Here's the criteria.
The criteria.
Criteria that makes you the GOAT is transcending from where you began and opening up spaces so that others can also transcend from their location.
and he did that.
Okay,
And
so
he did that. He
is that the only thing?
No,
Because
no.
because I would also want to put in your lyrics. If we're talking about rapping, I would also like to say your lyrics, the type of music you make, how you.
He was the reason that hip hop artists started.
Sell.
He was the reason that hip hop artists started making their songs, joining their songs with R&B.
I don't want to
making them love songs.
I don't want to interrupt you, Craig.
Go ahead.
But may I pee?
Go ahead. Oh, you got to pee.
Yes, it's the.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I need a girl.
Right.
But I wouldn't say he had the best.
It's not about him having the best. He opened the door.
But when you say you're the GOAT, that means you're saying you're the best.
No,
you saying you're the GOAT is you saying you're the best.
what I'm saying is he gave the vision to a lot of these hip hop artists. They weren't even putting hook girls on hooks in hip hop songs
Because
they weren't even writing about love. He did that shit with I Need Love, but then he also did I'm Bad and all that other shit too.
I'm not
And he
disagreeing with-
seamlessly left from hip hop and went into acting.
But I'm not disagreeing with you about his talent. I'm not disagreeing about what he's done. I'm saying when you say somebody is the GOAT, that means you're saying that he's basically better than everybody else.
No, what I'm saying is he's a visionary. That's what I mean.
I can agree with
He's
that.
a visionary.
I can agree
in
with
the
that.
sense that, and I'm not saying that he lined all of this stuff up and he knew all of this stuff was going to happen. Maybe he walked into it and figured it out as he was going. But what I'm saying to you is he not created, but he started doing brand deals before any of these other artists were doing it.
Okay,
The
because
Kango.
you say he's
People,
the GOAT.
niggas was wearing Kangos because he was wearing it.
Okay, but you saying that means you're saying that he's better than Biggie.
No,
He's
that's
better
not what I
than
said.
no, because we're talking about
Okay,
GOATs.
no.
Because if we're talking about GOATs, I will say Biggie is a GOAT. I will
feel
say
that. No,
Tupac.
Okay, no, we talk. Okay, hold on now, because we getting confused. Because I'm with you when you right.
Uh-huh.
Now we're not talking about who? Yes.
Oh, Biggie, man.
Yes. Okay, this is okay. Hold on. Let me clarify.
Go ahead.
Let me clarify. I do. Yes, I do. All I dealt with was street niggas. Well, please listen to me, okay? We're not talking about lyrically. I think
Exactly.
I think where it's stopping you, where you're running into a wall, sweetie.
What's he doing?
Running into a wall
Uh-huh.
is lyrically. You're thinking about lyrically.
Right.
I'm talking about standing. I'm talking about transcending from where you began. And transcending from where you began, and also making spaces for people to also listen, bitch. I posted a picture yesterday that got 2.2 million views on it with me squatting down.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and me saying I'm third. That picture on Twitter has 2.2 million views on that,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I said I was 30. I was a man's wallet's worst nightmare, bitch, and I regretted nothing.
Uh-huh.
There are many girls out there that are more beautiful than me, more passable than me, have bigger cocks than I do, but they have not made the impact that I made. And the door is open for them to do that. It's open for them to do that.
Right.
So there are bitches that are better than me, more beautiful than me, fine, and all of the things that have not made that impact yet but the door is open for them to do it.
But I will also say this: if you're going to say impact, I will say Biggie had a bigger impact than LL Cool J. Why? No, because why? If you go to people and you ask them, "Who's your favorite rapper?"
But that doesn't mean that he had a bigger impact. And I'm not here to say whether or not, because I love Biggie
but
too.
I'm saying that if people are saying that people like NWA are the reason why they got into rap, people like Biggie are the reason why they got into rap, people like Tupac are the reason. That means they had a bigger impact on those artists than, because how many rappers have you heard say LL Cool J is the reason I got into rap?
Right, but what I'm saying to you is we're talking about influence now. We're talking about, first of all, Biggie didn't live long enough to have the kind of impact that LL did.
But the fact
and
that what he did in that time,
he didn't do as much as LL.
I'm
Now
not saying he did.
lyrically, he may have the culture on lock. But when I'm talking about becoming commercial and being able to get into film and television and move into other mediums, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, I'll agree with you. So if you're saying that, if you want to say that he's one of the GOAT triple threats or more,
Absolutely,
I can agree with that.
But that's
but
again, it boils down to
but we're just talking about rap.
Like when you and I first absorbed what was said, we were thinking lyrically.
Right.
You and I both. Because I was like, wait a minute, who told you that? But when you do think about a person transcending from where they began,
yes,
that's what it's about. Like transcending from where it began and still having longevity.
Yes, because he's still working.
Still having longevity over times and times and times. That is a GOAT. That is a GOAT.
So he was on the podcast and he was talking about that, and he kept prefacing, "I'm not trying to toot my own horn," and it just made me think about us as a people. I was going to play a little piece of it, but it's not important at this point. But I think what happens with us as Black people, and a lot of times you get it in the comments, and I sometimes will get it in the comments, when you celebrate yourself, sometimes people perceive it as being you're bragging or you're being cocky. But I think that as a culture, we're sometimes raised to not toot our own horn or not brag because it comes off the wrong way. But we have to learn how to celebrate ourselves too. There's a fine line between bragging and celebrating, but I think we have to celebrate ourselves.
Like Craig, they always tell you to be humble. Don't forget where you come from.
Right.
I could never forget where I come from. I look at it daily.
Absolutely.
So I could never forget where I come from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you go through shit like that. I definitely go through it.
Mhm.
It's a bitch idea, but right now, windmill into the sky by what I ain't doing.
Yeah.
How many girls did this before me and how this and the other. It's not about that.
Yes.
It's about, somebody just wrote in the comment, Tracy Lords I'm a transsexual. A Black one. I'm a Black transgender woman. You could put Tracy Lords and all and what's the other what's that Pamela Anderson? She wasn't born. What's the other girl? Jenna Jameson. You could put, those are white women.
Mhm.
I am a
Black
transsexual bitch that's Banji.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you start trying to add it up and label it up, it ain't no. Laverne didn't come from being infamous for being
right in the sex world or porn.
But Laverne is definitely a goat.
Yeah.
From where she
right
from
for her lane,
for her lane, and what she carved for the girls to.
Correct.
She carved footprints for me to walk in.
Correct. Same thing with Janice Ma.
Janet Ma.
Janet.
Yeah.
I said Janet. Yeah. But I remember being a kid, and I remember my dad saying, "Well, don't say too much about it." We have to learn how to celebrate and be proud of our accomplishments. Whether you got a raise at your job, or you bought your first home, or whatever it is, like sometimes we have to celebrate ourselves and not be afraid to celebrate. And when you're around people that can't appreciate you celebrating yourself, that's the wrong crowd.
Oh, and can I just say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm comparing, and not to you guys, but just people out there, if I'm comparing like rappers from different eras together, well, if we're saying GOAT, that's an acronym, right? Mm-hmm. The acronym means greatest of all time. So if we're talking about greatest of all time, then we're talking about ever.
From a holistic view, though, not just lyrically.
No, but yeah, you're right. But I didn't put in being an actor, because if we're just talking about greatest of all time when it comes to rap, I can't say he's the greatest all time.
But
rapper.
He wasn't talking about just rap. Let me play just a little.
Oh, okay. Well, if he's not just talking about the rap, then yeah.
But he said that is being a rapper too.
Because if he's just talking about, if he's
I'm
not talking about that,
humbly,
I agree.
But I really mean this. I think one day people are going to wake up and realize that LL Cool J is the most important rapper that ever existed. I truly believe one day people are going to say that. They're going to say, yo, they're going to look and they're going to say, wow, when it comes to the jewelry, this is the guy who introduced all the diamond and the ice and the champagne. Mm. They're going to say when it comes to the love songs, this is the guy who introduces the love songs and all the love shit. When it comes to the bad boy vibe, they're going to realize, oh, this is the guy who introduced all the rebellious bad boy vibes before it was done. When it comes to the GOAT terminology, they're going to say, yo, this is the guy who came up with the GOAT stuff. They're going to say when it comes to Def Jam, wow, this is the first artist that was on Def Jam. They're going to say, well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When it comes to the solo artist, going to say, wow, this is the first solo artist to take it all the way around the world. Like, I mean, I could go on and on.
So again, he talks more and more about it, but he wasn't just talking about lyrically. All I'm going to say is I love Biggie, love Tupac. Like, I'm a hip hop fanatic.
Connoisseur.
Correct. Mm. But if I had to choose between LL's career and Biggie's, I'm choosing LL's.
Well, he's still here.
Well, right.
I hate to break it to you.
Right.
Biggie's gone. And Puffy did it, but Biggie's gone.
Right.
Because how he's lasted so long, coming from gangster rap, coming from the West Coast, and then transcending the movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about Ice Cube?
Ice Cube.
I think so. I think he's a GOAT.
For sure.
I think LL is a GOAT. I think Little Kim is a GOAT.
But like you and I were talking the other day, Luther Campbell
Is the GOAT.
because nobody was doing that kind of hip hop.
If it was not for motherfucking
Nobody was doing that.
Dade County,
Nobody was doing what he was doing.
pop that pussy.
Two Live Crew made open the doors for all of this shit. Yes, Dolores C. Tucker and all them people.
So-
Dionne Warwick.
So
all them
basically,
people
saying
didn't
so
like any
basically
of that.
saying everybody's basically a GOAT.
No.
No, because my point is, we can say people are icons, we can say people are legends, but there can only be, when you say greatest of all time, that means there's one person that stands above the rest. That's what greatest of all
Luke
time
stands above the rest when it comes to that type of hip hop. He is the reason that they started putting the parental advisory on music.
Yes.
He is the reason. Their music is the reason.
Yes.
That was not happening prior to them.
And he is the reason why I'm a transsexual.
And she DM'd that man and told him that on
I
Instagram.
did. He is the reason why that I am a transgender woman.
Right.
Because all those nasty, filthy things that those men were talking about doing, I needed it done to me. Do it to me.
Yes, indeed.
How hard like a rock when you make that pussy pop.
Baby. That shit was everywhere.
But a lot of people try to use that terminology for themselves, but a lot of them didn't live up to it. LL lived up to it. Ice Cube lived up to it. It's only a few. Queen Latifah.
Goat. Goat.
And she went from the dashikis all the way up to
But
You
you
went
guys, but you see,
IT1.
the thing is that you guys are okay. So if we're talking about career, I'm not disagreeing. But
There's
we're
just,
talking.
so you
we're just
basically
talking
in the
about.
space of saying like Brandy is the voice.
You said what?
I mean, is the vocal Bible.
That's what y'all say. That's what y'all say. Because it's just like us going in. If we go into singing, who's the go to singing?
Mariah.
Okay,
You
and some
had-
people
you
say
had- you
some
had to
people
bring
say
You
Brandy.
had to bring Brandy.
Some people say Brandy too.
You had it ain't enough that her daughter Sarah had already
Gathered me.
over them comments that day.
But let's be clear. She is a goat.
She is a goat.
Let's be.
And whether you like her voice or not, she is the goat. 'Cause
Let
she had a doll. She was the Black Cinderella. She had her own television show, Moesha. She was in movies. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Isn't that what it was? I still know what you did last summer. Like she was everywhere. Platinum albums.
Somebody said not Whitney. Yes, Whitney is definitely
Whitney
is
come
the
on.
goat. But bitch, we talking about.
Absolutely.
Let's
No,
be
you
clear.
see what you just did though. That's my point. There are levels. There are levels.
There are levels.
In your eyes, nobody surpasses Whitney.
vocally.
And that's
As
what
a singer,
we're talking
as a
about.
singer,
Vocally.
Vocally.
as a singer.
But Mariah, she can't fuck with Mariah with that pen
That
because
pen
Whitney didn't write.
and the
Mariah
way-
did.
but it
if
was
we're
also
just talking-
Mariah's
we're
white
just talking
skin.
if we're just talking about singing,
that help.
if we're talking about writing, yes.
That-
But we're just talking about. I said singing, just singing.
But even
Who's
when
your
you say,
goat for singing?
but even when you say singing, my thing is
Whitney. For
Who,
singing.
so if we're saying, so you're saying Whitney is the GOAT.
For me, for singing.
right, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's still subjective.
But if when you say
You're right.
goat, as far
You're
as
right.
overall, we have to give it to Mariah.
Well, then we're not talking about singing. We're talking about her singing. We're talking about her writing. We're talking about her being able to.
But this is
to
what we were
market
saying about
herself.
LL Cool J too.
that's what we're saying. Yeah.
Same thing about Beyonce. Beyonce, I would say as an artist, she may be the GOAT. It might be between her and Michael Jackson.
I
as
feel
being
that.
the GOAT
I
as
feel
an
that.
artist. Because why? They've done every single thing.
I
Music,
can agree with that.
acting,
But I don't
writing.
think. But I don't think that Beyonce is in the same atmosphere as a Mariah and Whitney. I think she's a bigger star. I think because I think that Whitney can't do what Beyonce did in terms of writing.
You're right.
Mariah writes, but Mariah can't dance.
Right.
Beyonce can dance. So that's what I'm saying. I think.
But this
that's-
is why we put her in a Michael Jackson.
That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
I think
as
she
an
and Michael
overall,
Jackson,
as an overall
This
artist,
is why.
Beyonce
her
is
work ethic. Yes,
Right.
all of it.
She's a goat.
This is why we put her in Michael Jackson. And somebody said this to me the other day, like, well, why don't y'all put her with Janet? And I was like,
I mean, I guess technically
They saying because someone said Janet can do all three.
I guess technically Janet could be up there, but I don't really feel like Janet is a singer. Oh!
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
I don't mean to offend Janet.
Why would you open the door for that for me?
People are agreeing with. People are agreeing.
I don't mean to offend the Janet people, but I'm just saying. And Janet makes great music. I love Janet, but she's not a vocalist. Is what I'm saying. That's what I think makes it different.
I just want to hold you. See how you still having a full conversation? I was thinking,
Right, and that's how it is for her.
I just want to hold you.
She's just like, whispering and stuff.
Anytime,
Right.
any place, you got to.
Like they are.
All-time entertainment.
Yes.
They are. And they're the kind of entertainment
Artists. They're artists.
And they're the kind of
They're
entertainment.
literal artists.
Right, they're artists. But they're the kind that they got people fainting.
Right.
They got people passing out and shit. You understand?
At
what
one
I'm
point,
saying?
they thought Michael Jackson was Jesus.
Who's that giving that nasty fruit? Nasty boy. Who's that wearing those nasty clothes? Nasty boy.
And that is the only time her voice went above 30 decibels. That's the only time.
But y'all can't do too much on Janet. She has some hits though. Janet has some hits.
Now we're
though.
not taking away her.
For the baby. Sing for the baby.
Janet has some hits. Now.
We ain't taking away no hits now. We ain't taking away no hits. Cause Kaya has hits, bitch. But we said the GOAT.
Right.
Hits that stick like grit.
Janet has some.
Janet got hits.
She do.
It's just the vocal y'all doubt.
Right.
I ain't doubting it.
That's what takes
heard it
that's
just
what
like
takes
I have.
that's what takes the T off of the GOAT. It's the GOAT.
I have to remember Craig's style. Like you see through.
Yes.
I thought you was sweating. He be taking his shot. No, I thought Craig was sweating. He be taking his shot. I thought Craig was That's what made him a sweating. Jay.
Not
I
yet.
thought Craig was sweating.
Hold it.
No, Madison said not yet.
Not yet.
He said you look wet. No, I'm just saying he looked like he was sweating. But then I had to remember,
Not
that's
yet.
Craig's style. He like his style. He like him see-through.
Not yet, Reverend. Not
He like his clothes see-through.
not yet, Reverend Mother. The Bene Gesserit will return.
Attack.
We're gonna come back to you.
Yeah. We will be using the weirding way.
Yeah.
I have a bone to pick with you. Atlanta, Georgia. Honey, y'all have been calling for the fags because we ain't been down there to the City Winery, child, honey. We got a new spot, baby. It's a real intimate setting. We are going to be located at the Smoky Stallion Barbecue, bitch. Oh, yes, girl. And not only that, we're going to be there December the 7th at 8 p.m. and December the 8th at 2 p.m.
And these shows ain't for everybody. These are just for the real fags of Atlanta. Join us December 7th and 8th.
Honey, you get us at night on a motherfucking Saturday, and you get us on Sunday for brunch. Oh, yes, bitch. This is why we doing this for 2 days, because the seating is limited. So that means when you, by the sound of my voice, you better be running down there to www.fagtalk.com to get your tickets, bitch, because the fags are about to turn it out 2 days in a fucking row. Oh, yes.
It ain't for everybody. Miss Tim, tell them I said it ain't for everybody.
Honey, they ain't for everybody, goddammit. The Bible says many are called, but few are chosen. Be one of the chosen few.
Don't meet us there, bitch. Beat us there. That's www.phagtalk.com. Get your ass down there, honey, and get my children out of here.
You met me as me.
This hair looks delicious on you.
Yeah. This 99J. This 99J. This 99J. This 99J. This 99J. Yeah.
Do you have what it takes to be a fag? Oh, honey. You know we all. I'm most definitely a hot